How are things on the West Coast? I hear you moving real fine. You wear those shoes like a dove. Now step those shoes, we'll go roaming in the night. Well, how are things on the West Coast? You keep it moving to your soul's delight. Now I've tried the brakes. I've tried, but you know it's a lonely ride. How are things on the West Coast? Oh, I'd move heaven behind those eyes. Today my heart swings.
Yeah, so this is Charlie with the Love Police, and you know, law of attraction. A man who I admire greatly has turned up. David, hello.
Hello, mate.
Hello. What brings you to Parliament today?
Well, not truth, justice, and honesty. That's for sure. Anything but. It's just a farce going on here, where you know the whole thing's being stitched up by three masks on the same face.
Absolutely, but surely it pacifies the public when they get to elect middle management and not the franchise owner. Surely.
Well, I think what's happening here is that there's a serious move to try to create a one-party state in Britain.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Because if you get the so-called progressive alliance, which if you look at the definition of progressive is anything but progressive, they could be in for a long time, almost indefinitely. So,
and you
have a one-party state under the guise of two parties.
I loved your newsletter about David Manchild Miliband. I think you are correct. I think that was happening today.
Yeah, David Miliband, the child in a man's body who's could be Prime Minister of this country eventually.
Yeah.
It's not just tragic, it's terrifying, right?
It is terrifying, but no, thanks for all the work you do, and you're an inspiration. And also we managed to confront George Osborne and William Hague at Whitehall right now and ask them about their connections to big business and Russian millionaires and yachts and Bullingdon clubs, and they were very upset. And what we found also, as we find that sometimes the general public are the biggest enemy to anyone trying to expose the truth, because everyone started swearing at me, including Sky News crew, saying F off back to America because I've got an American accent. And then I said, actually I'm Scottish, and they said, well, F off back to Scotland. So
yeah, but you see, you like the rest of the public are not part of the game.
No.
You're not part of the club. You know, the club is journalists who are repeaters. They just repeat the official story over and over again, and then it becomes official history. You've got the politicians who are members of the same club. You've got the bankers and the big business people who are members of the same club, and therefore you're dealing with different departments basically in the same kind of network. And if you come in and start saying things that are outside of that, then you know the club is going to react, whether it's a journalist, a politician, or whatever.
Absolutely.
It's a time when people have to realise that, you know, as George Carlin said, it's a great big club.
And you're not in it.
And you're not in it. And it's time we did get in it, because instead of being on the sidelines, you see, the idea that you can change the system of corruption and self-interest and the bigger, wider conspiracy cabal through the ballot box is ludicrous.
Yeah, totally ludicrous. Pre-selected puppets.
The whole system's stitched up to stop the system being changed or challenged. What we have to do en masse is stop cooperating with the system.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, while we say things like.
So this is all just distraction.
Yeah. While we say things like, "Oh, you can't break the law, you can't defy the law." Well, okay, well, put the handcuffs on there, because what we're saying if we do that is the laws are changed here. Actually, a small cabal officially changed here, and then if you obey them, no matter what they say, even we can take your children away, which they're increasingly doing to people, then we're already completely enslaved, because they change the law, we have no say in that, and then we obey the law, the system wins. What we've got to do is stop doing that and stop cooperating with laws that are specifically there to enslave us.
Absolutely.
What are we doing?
Yeah. And
what you were saying there, it's the equivalent of someone in a prison cell with a group of people in a prison cell. Someone starts to get through the door, and it's not the prison warders that jump to stop them, it's the other prisoners in the bloody cell.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. Oh, shut up and all this stuff. It's the greatest prison is one where the the prisoners think they're free.
Absolutely.
And that's what this farce and facade of a nonsense and smokescreen is all about.
The media circus, the festival of lies, the big noble lie. Yeah. No, it's great to bump into you, David. No, it's great. I think we'll carry on the megaphone and see what we
Good
can
idea.
do. Yeah.
David,
Good idea.
Before we let you go, I just had one question as well for you. The proportional representation. I believe this is a plan basically set up so that no one party will ever have control in the UK.
Well, what keeps coming up is when you follow a news day, you know what the song sheet's been at the start of the day, because all these guys around here just keep repeating it. Now, you remember on election night, the mantra was stable government and all that stuff. They're already building this, what's going on now. And the mantra over the last 24 hours has been the Progressive Alliance. I mean, Progressive Alliance. The Labour Party is part of a Progressive Alliance. So it's now progressive to pepper bomb a country on a basis of bloody lies, kill at least and maim at least 1 million bloody people and growing. That's progressive. You know, these are all newspeak, Orwellian words that are different ways of saying tyranny. And so this Progressive Alliance is this centre, so-called left of centre, actually far bloody right, if you want to use those terms, creating its area within British politics, so that it just keeps at elections through changes in the voting system, perpetuating itself. And we have a situation, see, in South Africa, for instance, which is supposed to be a democracy, where the ANC is so totally in control that whoever gets elected head of the ANC is the president of the country. Now, once you get a one-party state masquerading as two parties, which they're kind of trying to get going here, then you have the same thing. We had it with Brown. He became leader of the Labour Party, became Prime Minister of the country. Sorry, can I be saying this? No. Now if Miliband gets voted in the Labour Party the way they want to swing it, then he could possibly become Prime Minister without a vote being cast by the public for him to take that office. And this is what they're doing. They call it the centre ground. I'll tell you a quick story. Many years ago now, back in the 1990s, I met an Oxford Don a woman, she was quite elderly by then, and she worked in certain areas of government, and she was very much a researcher into the intelligence agencies and their background. And she said to me, and she put this in writing to the government, a government committee, I think it was the Nolan Committee on, doing the right thing in public life, honesty and all that stuff, which of course has not happened. Surprise, surprise. But so she's actually put this officially down as well, and she said that she was at Oxford University in the 1940s, and people thought in the Communist Party there that she was one of them, and they had this meeting where there was a speaker. And she got invited in because, quite wrongly, they thought she was one of them. The speaker stood up, 1940s, and he said that he represented a secret society that had two wings. There was a political wing and there was a biological wing. He was head of the political wing, he said, and therefore at some point he would become Prime Minister of Britain. He said that what would happen is that politics would be pushed onto a middle ground, so that basically there was no difference between them. And what he said they were going to do, 1940s, like I say, they were going to put their people on the right wing of the Labour Party and on the left wing of the Conservative Party, because he said British people instinctively don't like extremists. Right? Well, it's happened. The speaker that night was Harold Wilson.
Oh, there you go.
Who became Prime Minister of this country for a long time in the 60s and 70s. Yeah. It's all orchestrated.
It's all pre-selected. It's all theatre.
That's what's happening here. It's just the next major stride in turning this country into one-party state.
Yeah.